The title of our performance is A Kingdom Divided, How Henry VIII's decision to break from the Catholic Church changed history. Hear ye, hear ye. The day of April 2nd, 1502, cast a somber spirit over the land of Great Britain as the country grieves its dead heir. Arthur, faithful husband and Prince of Wales, had succumbed to a sickness earlier that week. Due to his abrupt death, his brother Henry VIII had to prepare early for his legacy to the throne.
Wolsey, I cannot make sense of this. How is God rewarding my brother with death after his such recent triumphs?
Henry, I am most sorrowful for what Arthur's death has besieged on you. But you have to do a task of duties to prepare you for your upcoming day as official King of Britain.
See, he's joking. I'm to be king? What about my religious studies?
While Henry began his training to become a king from age 12 to 17, his brother's widow, Catherine of Aragon, lived under lock and key in Durham House in London along the River Thames for 6 to 7 years. Despite being the daughter of one of the wealthiest kings in the world, Catherine did not have much expendable income. She struggled to provide for herself and her lady-in-waiting Maria, even though they lived in relative privilege at Durham House. Henry was her key to freedom.
Your Grace, might I have a few pence to buy some bread at the market? It smells positively delightful and my stomach is growling. We haven't had a bite to eat since yesterday's breakfast.
I know, Lamb. I wrote to Father and requested more money. You would think he would want us to live comfortably, but alas, he's left us to the British. God will provide for us.
You are too good for him, Your Majesty.
Henry felt apprehensive at the fact that he had to marry Catherine. It was widely known that Catherine and her family were influential members of the Catholic Church and the Spanish Empire, and Henry was so pressured by his family to marry his brother's widow. The English couldn't afford to lose their sizable dowry of 200,000 Spanish ducats.
The day has arrived, Your Grace. We have close to 5 hours before your coronation. All of this time, the royal court has been waiting for your arrival with the Spanish princess.
I know my duties and responsibilities and will live up to my father's image of me. I can predict the historic records. They'll say, Henry VIII marries Arthur, Prince of Wales' widow.
Your duty to this nation and to God...
My duty? Do not speak to me about duty. I've been bound to England all of my life, and now England will bow to me. Before I die, I will live for myself. I am now king.
Henry was crowned king April 21st of 1509, and the populace adored him in contrast of what they felt of his father, Henry VII, at the end of his reign.
Look at that handsome child.
15 years later.
She gave me another daughter. No sons!
My king, I urge you, is she not a woman, she would have bested all the heroes in history. And if she were not a Catholic, then you might have had a son. Sire, you must annul her immediately. I'm in connection with a powerful member of the court who may intrigue and benefit you more than Queen Catherine, if your interests are in the right place.
What is my most trusted advisor suggesting? Although Catherine has not granted me a son, the people admire her, including Cromwell himself. It would be disastrous to divorce her. However, this courtier that he mentions...
What is this about a courtier, I hear, Your Highness?
Oh, nothing of importance, Wolsey. Just something Cromwell was trying to convince me of.
I pray it's not the divorcing of Queen Catherine. The people adore her so much. She is utmost importance to the Spanish Empire and of the Catholic Church. Divorcing her would be a terribly great mistake. The Pope not approve.
Henry was pulled in every which direction, which ultimately led him to annul Catherine of Aragon.
The air was intense as Queen Catherine guided herself through court. The day of May 23rd, 1533 had arrived, and you could have heard a pin dropped as the court hushed into silence.
Sir, I beseech you, for all the loves that have been between us, and for the love of God, let me have some justice and right. I have failed to bestow upon thee a son, but why mustn't a daughter true maid, without touch of man, and whether that be true or no, I put it to your conscience. I find England much changed, for the Protestant poison has taken root, and it is no impartial court for me. 'Tis shocking to break this holy sacrament of marriage. The Holy Roman Emperor, my nephew, will be sad to hear of this.
Well, that was awkward. After the annulment between the two causing uncomfortable tension between the British and Spanish Empire, Henry went on to wed the elusive courtier Anne Boleyn. The people of the British kingdom did not like Anne. The difference between Catherine's devout Catholic personality and Anne's Protestant ideas challenging Henry's beliefs.
Within this time, after the divorce, Anne has been slowly implementing ideas to break away from the Catholic Church to Henry. As a member of one of England's most Protestant families, Anne had designs to sway Henry away from the clutches of the Catholic Church.
And Henry was ready to rebel now that he held the power of the throne. With Martin Luther's 95 Theses practically nailed onto every church entrance, Anne felt inclined to promote Henry to Protestantism.
By Jove, those Catholics, what do they say? As soon as a coin in the coffer rings, a soul from purgatory springs? Such codswallop. Indeed, thou must read the obedience of a Christian man. Truly my eyes were thus opened to see the truth. And you mustn't forget Tyndale's New Testament. There are many wonderful truths in the Gospel of Ephesians.
Just a moment, Nan. Is Tyndale's not against the king's law?
Pray upon which grounds would harbor such a conceiving?
Perhaps it is a book for me and all kings to read. This book is teeming with Protestant ideas. Yet, how does she ache to persuade me to follow these laws without granting me a son first? Is she so foolish to believe that I'm gracious enough to court her without something of a goal to my own?
Surely you are aware of great wealth and prosperity the church beholds. I argue that the King of England should hold such wealth and absolute power within his realm. Verily, even the oldest historical texts declare the king the supreme head of the church.
That may be most true, my loyal servant. If I do take control of the church properties, I would gain vast prosperities. Perhaps we could take this conversation to another room.
Perhaps we will.
In 1534, Thomas Cromwell would use his power as a member of the court to implement the Act of Supremacy, marking Henry the supreme head of the church. Henry VIII would also declare several other reformations, such as the Treasons Act of 1534, marking anyone who denied his supreme power wanted for high treason. Henry VIII would destroy the lesser monasteries, transferring their wealth to him and seizing their power.
Shortly after, Anne would fail to give Henry the male heir he so desired, but she did give birth to who would later become future Queen Elizabeth I.
This enraged Henry after multiple miscarriages and a stillborn son, thus fueling him to execute her.
Good Christian people, I am come hither to die, for according to the law and by the law I am judged to die. Therefore I shall speak nothing against it.
At the Scaffold Tower in London, Anne Boleyn was executed, charged for multiple charges, likely fabricated. Her carefully spoken speech was designed to protect her daughter, Elizabeth, in hopes that one day she would succeed her.
The English Reformation sparked a revolution and reaction from the people of England, many people forming their own groups to revolt against the king as the new church formed.
Henry's breaking away from the church presented many new laws of reform that ultimately declared Henry the supreme power and led to new denominations of Christianity.
The English Protestant Reformation was a revolutionary new beginning that would shape the British Empire and the world forever.